Hello, I'm Claudia Black. I was once working with a group of children who were living in families affected by parental addiction. A young girl, Elizabeth, who was just 9, was having a really difficult time talking. Well, she was stuttering and stammering and having a hard time getting anything to come out of her mouth. So to try and help her, I offered, "It's hard, isn't it, Elizabeth, to talk about these things?" She hung her head and she looked so shy. So I added, "It's hard to talk about things that we're not used to talking about." And then Elizabeth sighed and she hung her head again. After a pause, I spoke again. I said, "It's hard to talk about things that maybe we've never ever heard anybody else ever talk about." This time Elizabeth picked up her head, looked at me, and realized that I was looking at her. She looked at each and every child in the group, saw that she had everybody's attention. She picked up her little chin and said, "You know, when you have a rule in your house that you're not supposed to talk about your dad's drinking, well, it's really hard to talk with a rule like that. My mom, she told me that I could come here and say anything that I wanted to say, but it's really hard with a rule like that." Then Elizabeth hung her head. You see, in Elizabeth's house, this was a rule. I happen to think that in many families, that rule is more like a law. I think it's a law that's usually not verbalized, certainly not written, but well understood. Addiction is the #1 cause of dysfunction and conflict in families today. Alcohol addiction is the most pervasive, but other drug abuse is rampant as well, from prescription pills to marijuana, cocaine, speed, heroin. Gambling, sexually compulsive behaviors, and eating disorders impact many families. More common than not now, many families are affected by a combination of addictive disorders. While the substance or the behavior varies, the family systems operate with many of the same dysfunctional family rules, rules that fuel an ongoing legacy of addiction. Don't talk, don't trust, and don't feel. One of the primary reasons that we don't recognize the enormity of problems for children raised with addiction is that they learn the don't talk rule, the rule of silence. That don't talk rule is demonstrated in families where people learn to minimize, discount, rationalize, or as one little girl said to me, "In our family, we just pretend things are different than how they really are." In your family, do you pretend things are different than how they really are? Over the years, when I've had the opportunity to work with children, one of the most effective tools has been allowing them to use art to express themselves. Allie expressed the sentiment of the don't talk rule with, "When my mom drinks, I just pretend she doesn't. I never even talk about it. It's not happening. I think I'll just go play." I don't mean to imply literally that these children don't talk, but they learn to not talk honestly about the real issues. For Thomas, the real issue is getting blamed for something I didn't do. "You dummy." Ouch. Other real issues about which they seldom find the safety to talk about might be, "I'm afraid to bring my friends home after school because they may see my mom drunk." Or, "I'm with my dad when he's loaded and driving." Or, "We have to move again because my dad can't seem to keep a job." "I'm afraid that my mom's going to divorce my dad." Or, "I'm afraid that my mom's not going to divorce my dad. I think I'm the one who's causing the problems." Children learn the don't talk rule in a variety of ways. For some, it's because of loyalty. Children invariably love their parents, and to talk about what it is that's going on at home, they believe that they're saying that their parents are bad. Then they become confused about their love, and they come to find that it's simply a whole lot easier not to talk at all.